Good morning. My name is Mikna Maghetti. We are in the Udamed development team, and I'm responsible for data exchange meeting, and with part of you probably we met during the working groups. What I'm going to deliver today is a bit of insights of the information that you will find into the documents that you'll receive, and also to provide you a bit of knowledge on how to read or how to interpret. I mean, to be easier for you to read and to understand the documents that we will provide. The first things that I want to envisage is the high-level architecture overview on the data exchange for Udamed, to explain a bit the service and entity model, because there are some points that I want to be sure that they got correctly to you. We have time to go a bit on some data exchange scenarios where we can see some messages that can be exchanged into scenario for active registration and devices, and a bit of security aspects that Sylvia already mentioned around the security tokens that we add. Mind that after our meeting there will be Digit that will go inside in connectivity. So we only cover in this presentation the software, let's say, part where and data modeling. As you are already aware, there will be two ways to access Udamed backend in order to exchange data. One is machine to machine, that is currently subject of today, where a simple a backend of a public or private administration needs to use a data exchange infrastructure like e-delivery, building blocks to exchange data with Udamed. So the part of that will suppose you need to connect your backend databases or your applications to those steps for building block e-delivery that will be presented later on by Digit in order to access our Udamed service, in order to exchange devices, data, actors data, or actor registration data, and so on. The other way is to connect and to obtain the same achievement, but in a manual way, is to go in to Udamed GUI and upload the data yourself in the same format that you would do it into the machine-to-machine way. So Udamed is proposing and it's under development a way to try to upload in a manual way some data. Of course, this is not fitted for integration machine to machine, because it requires a human intervention, going in Udamed application, uploading files, checking the response. What I wanted to show you here is that the data should be similar, because they will be processed in the same way as the data comes from M2M. So that's why we will need only to show you the data model for M2M, because it's the same also for the manual upload or downloads using Udamed GUI. The high-level architecture that we propose to you is the in left side there is the public or private organization. It means that are the clients of Udamed, CU, that will try to send data into UDAMED, accessing exposed services into the UDAMED. So there is no direct connection to the UDAMED services. So you need to connect the backend, your backend that probably will be connected to your legacy system, that can be a database or another system, to an e-delivery access point. And then to secure AS4 protocol, the access point will discuss, will exchange data with our access point, the commission access point, that will be in charge of to be deployed by Digit. And from here, we will get the data into our gateway and finally accessing the UDAMED services. All the communication is asynchronous. So once you send some data, we will deliver you a reply, but it's not. It will not be probably in a matter of seconds. We don't have committed clear SLA about the way we need to reply, but we envisage that all the messages, that means requests or data that comes from you, it will be processed by us and you will have a reply. In this reply, you can have also a success or a failure detailing what caused this fail. Then the e-delivery layer, which consists in a messaging and transport layer, it's not subject of my presentation because this will be covered by our colleagues in Digit. What I want to show you is how you need to encapsulate and send the data to your e-delivery access point in order to be compatible with our model. So to this application layer, it will also be required to understand a bit of message exchange patterns, because as you foresee, there are two patterns on exchanging the data. First pattern will be for us to receive some data from you, so it's a push of the data. And the other pattern is for you to request some data from us, so it's a pull request pattern. So those two patterns are already implemented and foresee to be. And of course, the services are also tailored around those patterns. When the data will travel between your backend and our UDAMED backend, they will be shaped in an XML format. And the structure of the XML, it's given by the service and entity model XSDs. So basically, we maintain the data exchange model in XSDs, and we will share to you the XSDs. In this way, you can validate already the data that you send, but mind that this validation, it will not be the final one, because to the XSD, it's only a partial validation on the structure, and we try to implement some business rules inside, but there are a limited set of business rules. But this is the first step for you to send some data, is to be compliant with a data model that we provide to those XSDs. And then imagine this data exchange model as that you create your XMLs with the data. We'll go inside for sure later on. And then you put them into an envelope, which is still an XML message, which will contain some data about yourself, the security, what you want to access, and so on. And with this envelope, you handle it to your e-delivery access point. And from here is the e-delivery access point to be in charge of sync the data to our UDAMED access point, and then we will take it from there and process it. All this flow, it should be automatically if you want to use this M2M data exchange. And of course, Sylvia mentioned that there is a document where it helps you to assess if all all this infrastructure was for you to be implemented and maintained. Because in IT, we know that there are some extra implications in terms of costs, maintenance, deployments, and infrastructure that you need to support on your side in order to have the e-delivery access point up and running on your side. And also, this probably will require some software implementation to connect your legacy system to the e-delivery, to be able to send data and to receive data. So there are some actions that you need to take on board when you assess this scenario. For the moment, the data that you can exchange is related to actor registration, and basic UDI. Here are the certificates, but certificates are in an early stage of development. They have been presented in the working group, but they are not yet available to the data exchange and will not be the subject of playground in end of June, July. So no certificates for the moment, but I think we will have enough information and enough scenarios to test during this period.